Imagine a faint glow on the horizon just before dawn, the sky blending inky indigo into a soft gray. As you watch, the first golden rays of the sun break over the land, stirring the quiet air into life. Across the ages, many have risen at this very moment. Priests in stone temples, farmers by the riverbanks, astronomers atop earthen mounds, eager to greet the day and track the patterns of sky and season. In these ancient acts of observation, entire worlds of knowledge were born. From the daily arc of the sun to the long dance of planets and stars, humanity assembled calendars to chart time's passing and, more profoundly, to reveal subtle harmonies connecting life on Earth with the wider cosmos. Yet these calendars did more than simply mark days. They were bridges between the tangible and the mysterious, laden with symbolism, myth, and spiritual insight. In the hush of starlit nights, temple scribes and sky watchers realized that the turning of the heavens told stories, lessons, even prophecies, if only one knew how to read them. This script will lead you through the layered tapestry of ancient timekeeping, unveiling how calendars became vessels of cosmic wisdom, cultural identity, and deep spiritual significance. Calendars as mirrors of the cosmos. Think of time. We often approach it as a mundane flow, months, weeks, hours, deadlines. But for ancient civilizations, time was an ever-shifting tapestry tied to the rhythms of nature. Calendars function like mirrors, reflecting the cosmic order and situating human life within the grand cycles of sun, moon, and stars. Egyptian priests, for instance, meticulously observed the annual flooding of the Nile, timing their sowing and harvesting to the star Sirius. This was not mere practicality. The heliacal rising of Sirius heralded both the new year and the sacred inundation that brought life-giving silt to the fields. The very notion of a 365-day year took shape among these watchers of the flood and the sky, an alignment of terrestrial necessity with celestial spectacle. Meanwhile, across the ocean, the Maya crafted some of the most intricate calendars known. Their Haab, a solar calendar of 365 days, and Tzolk'in, a 260-day sacred cycle, intertwined like gears in a cosmic clock. Every day bore a name, a number, a deeper meaning. By aligning these cycles, the Maya gained a refined sense of time's layers, worldly and spiritual, cyclical and linear. Thus, from Africa's Nile Valley to Mesoamerica's jungles, early calendars were far more than linear timekeepers. They were cosmic manuscripts, capturing the synergy between astral events and earthly life. Thus, planting crops, performing rituals, or anointing kings at auspicious moments aligned society with universal order. The result was a shared sense that time was a living force, divine, cyclical, and intimately tied to cosmic harmony. Early calendars across civilizations. It's easy to underestimate how widespread and sophisticated ancient calendars were. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians and Babylonians tracked the lunar cycle meticulously, weaving in observations of planetary movements. Their years sometimes required additional months to stay in sync with the solar cycle, reflecting an advanced grasp of mathematical astronomy. In ancient China, a lunisolar calendar guided both seasonal festivals and imperial decrees. Observers at the royal court recorded eclipses, comets, and planetary conjunctions, believing these celestial phenomena echoed the moral order or disorder of the empire. The emperor, seen as the son of heaven, took direct responsibility for harmonizing cosmic rhythms with governance. A misaligned calendar might be read as a sign of tyranny or impending disaster. Throughout the Mediterranean, Greek astronomers refined the notion of a solar-based year, culminating in the Julian calendar introduced by Julius Caesar. This system, recalibrated by Pope Gregory XIII into today's Gregorian calendar, was itself built on older Egyptian and Hellenistic insights. Although many now take this modern calendar for granted, it is essentially the descendant of countless generational experiments in measuring time. The cosmic theater. No matter the locale, an Egyptian temple complex, a Maya pyramid, a Chinese imperial court, an ancient calendar was more than a set of numbers. It was the reflection of a cosmos teeming with gods, spirits, and natural forces. The sky served as a stage where deities performed cyclical dramas. Each solstice, eclipse, or rising star carried symbolic weight, standing for renewal, judgment, or divine presence. The daily movement of the sun was not simply a physical rotation, but an affirmation of cosmic balance. These diverse calendars show one universal thread, an earnest quest to decipher the seasons of heaven, bridging earthly existence with celestial design. Observers recognize that each cycle, a month, a year, a grand 52-year or 500-year count, offered vantage points into the profound unity of creation. Learning to tell time was in essence a sacred art, requiring humility, precision, and respect for the greater cosmic dance. Symbolic Celestial Bodies. Take a moment and visualize the rising sun. To us, it may represent a new day or morning routine. But for civilizations from Peru's highlands to Mesopotamia's plains, the sun was a living symbol of rebirth, divine authority, or cosmic kingship. A calendar anchored by solar cycles thus became a reflection of life's cyclical renewal, weaving myths of death and resurrection into annual ceremonies. The moon, with its waxing and waning phases, symbolized fertility, transformation, and the goddess in many cultures. Its 29.5-day cycle folded neatly into a variety of mythic motifs about feminine power and the perpetuity of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth. Eclipses, far from random, signaled momentous shifts, times when earthly and cosmic realms intersected, opening gateways of possibility or foreboding. Then there were the planets. Venus especially captured hearts and minds. The Maya tracked Venus with extraordinary accuracy, weaving its morning and evening star apparitions into their rituals. The planet's disappearance into the sun's glare and subsequent re-emergence carried strong connotations of deity rebirth or messages about cyclical transformations. To the ancients, these movements were purposeful signals from a living cosmos. Recurring calendar motifs. Dig deeper into these calendars, and recurring patterns emerge. One is the notion of a sacred number. In Mesoamerica, 13 and 20 hold special resonance, forming the 260-day Tzolk'in. Ancient Chinese calendars revolved around the 12 earthly branches and 10 heavenly stems, uniting in a 60-year cycle. The patterns reveal a fascination with cyclical groupings, multiples that structure time into nested sequences of significance. Likewise, solstices and equinoxes loom large in many ancient systems. These four cardinal turning points carve the year into segments of growth, harvest, decline, and dormancy. Aligning temples, monuments, or pyramids to these solar events was not merely architectural flourish. It was a statement that human communities could reside in harmony with the cosmic pulse. The result? Rituals timed to the exact day or hour the sun's rays illuminated a shrine or statue, merging the realm of gods with mortal life. Within these motifs, solar alignments, lunar festivals, planetary cycles, a cosmic language forms, each symbol reinforcing the interplay between myth and nature. Ancient people recognized these patterns as clues, bridging physical phenomena with spiritual truths. In short, the calendar was an unfolding tapestry where each motif carried a message about life's deeper rhythms, mythic undercurrents. What did these cycles mean on a religious or mythological level? Often, calendar events replicated the stories of God's births, battles, and triumphs. For instance, the winter solstice might correspond to the birth or renewal of a solar deity, Mithras in the Roman sphere, or the sun god Ra in Egyptian lore. Spring equinox might coincide with a goddess's ascent, symbolizing nature's awakening. In Mayan belief, each day combined numerical and symbolic glyphs that pointed to deities, elemental forces, or historical cycles. This approach wove daily life into a cosmic tapestry. Your birthday wasn't merely a date. It held significance in the interplay of energies shaping your destiny. Mythology, in these contexts, wasn't separate from the calendar. It was the very script by which time's meaning was revealed. Through such myths, the ancients found narratives that paralleled the sky's motions. Celestial movements became metaphors for the cyclical nature of life, death, regeneration, and cosmic order. Even cataclysms, like flooding or plague, folded into the calendar's story, symbolizing cautionary lessons or the cleansing power of periodic resets. By mapping mythical events onto celestial rhythms, people aligned their communal identity with the universe's majestic flow. Calendars as communication tools. If you consider a modern calendar, it's easy to see it as a mere list of days and months. But for the ancients, a calendar was akin to a cosmic library. At each turning of the cycle, people read messages from the gods. The placement of festivals, the prescribed sacrifices, the alignment of certain rites all communicated layered instructions for living in tune with the divine. In ancient Egypt, the civil calendar once drifted out of sync with the actual solar year, requiring complex adjustments. But religious feasts pinned to the star Sirius maintain continuity with the natural cycle. This dual approach, practical on one hand, cosmic on the other, illustrates how calendars transmitted knowledge across centuries. They served as historical records, cosmic clocks, and theological guides all at once. Similarly, in Mesoamerica, the interplay of multiple calendar counts allowed scribes to record not just dates, but cosmic events, prophecies, genealogies of kings, the eras or sons of creation. Overlapping cycles, the 260-day and 365-day counts, plus larger long count cycles, formed a complex communication system. Time itself was treated as an entity with personality, possessing qualities that shaped destiny. By consulting the day's energies, one communed with the gods and gleaned counsel on everything from warfare to planting corn. Astrology and cosmology. The ancients often merged calendrical observations with astrology, reading planetary positions and star constellations as signals. Babylonian astrologers established zodiac divisions, mapping the ecliptic to anchor predictions in cyclical patterns. These zodiac signs, still widely recognized today, were once cutting-edge cosmic cartography, forging links between sky phenomena and earthly affairs. Such beliefs, far from mere superstition, underpinned major decisions, coronations, battles, treaties. A well-versed astrologer-astronomer was a prized advisor, bridging the gap between the ephemeral realm of politics and the seemingly eternal realm of the stars. Even the layout of palaces or capitals might reflect alignment with certain celestial coordinates, signifying a kingdom's cosmic legitimacy. This union of calendar and cosmos had implications for social and spiritual life. Many festivals in the Greco-Roman world, for instance, coincided with specific stellar alignments, reinforcing the synergy between local deities and cosmic forces. Over time, astrology spread, weaving Hellenistic, Persian, and Egyptian threads into a tapestry that profoundly influenced later Islamic and European astronomical traditions. Agricultural and societal foundations calendars weren't merely about metaphysics. They shaped the quotidian realities of agriculture and governance. timely sowing and reaping depended on predicting seasonal changes. Celestial observations, solstices, equinoxes, rising stars, offered reliable cues, forging early farmers' almanacs. Missing a key planting date might spell famine, so the accuracy of these cycles wasn't just spiritual, it was survival. Beyond farming, entire social structures leaned on these calendars. The Inca, for example, used solar pillars around their capital, Cusco, to mark solstices and equinoxes. Each pillar aligned with a specific horizon point where the sun rose or set, dividing the year into distinct segments. Religious ceremonies, labor assignments, and trade schedules followed these segments, forming a synchronized communal rhythm. Royal ceremonies, too, hinged on auspicious dates. In many cultures, enthronements aligned with cosmic events, like the new moon or a certain star cluster's heliacal rising, signaling the ruler's sanction by higher powers. Societies thus built elaborate frameworks around the calendar, embedding it in governance, economy, and ritual. By reading the signs of heaven, leaders claimed legitimacy and guided their people's collective destiny. Ancient wisdom in a modern world today, digital clocks and smartphone calendars can track time down to milliseconds. And yet, a curious longing persists for the older cyclical vision of time. Many seek reconnection with natural rhythms that modern life obscures. Sunrise meditations, lunar planning guides, or solstice celebrations. This revival often draws inspiration from ancient calendars, which recognize that humans are more than bystanders to cosmic cycles. We are participants. Whether through neo-pagan celebrations of the Wheel of the Year or a renewed interest in Mayan astrology, people are rediscovering the sense of awe that arises from linking daily life to celestial grandeur. In the West, where linear progress has been valorized, cyclical time offers an alternative lens, one that values regeneration, reflection, and the spiral evolution of consciousness. Ecological and holistic perspectives. As concerns about climate change and environmental disruption grow, ancient calendar wisdom offers a reminder of our bond with Earth's cycles. Many indigenous cultures adhered closely to seasonal indicators, migratory patterns of animals, the blooming of certain plants, or the shift of wind directions. Modern science calls these phenological observations, but for ancient peoples they were woven into cultural identity. By examining old calendars, ecologists and anthropologists glean how earlier societies balanced resource use with natural rhythms. The Yurok and Karuk tribes along California's Klamath River, for example, observed salmon runs and acorn harvest cycles, adjusting their ceremonies to support ecological health. Likewise, the Maori of Aotearoa, New Zealand, read the Matariki Pleiades reappearance as a signpost for new harvest beginnings. These sustainable practices, long overshadowed by industrial systems, resurface today as potential keys to more harmonious living. Pathways to self-discovery. On a personal level, immersing oneself in ancient calendars can be transformative. The cyclical perspective fosters introspection. Each phase of the moon, each solar turning point, becomes an invitation to reflect on one's internal cycles, growth, rest, creativity, and renewal. The day you were born, the season of your life, or the transits of certain stars can serve as catalysts for spiritual insight. Practitioners of astrology, or devotees of specific ancestral traditions, often speak of finding themselves in these old timekeeping methods. By aligning personal milestones with cosmic rhythms, they sense a broader context for life's twists and turns. Instead of random events, experiences can feel orchestrated by cosmic patterns. Whether one interprets this literally or symbolically, it offers a powerful narrative that fosters meaning and resilience. Unending mysteries. Despite centuries of scholarship, new breakthroughs in understanding ancient calendars continue to surface. Hieroglyphic inscriptions yield fresh data on Mayan cycles. Satellite imagery reveals long-forgotten alignments of prehistoric monuments. Mathematical models occasionally confirm the astonishing precision of ancient star lore. With each discovery, we realize how sophisticated our ancestors were and how much remains to be uncovered. In Egypt, the alignment of certain temples to rare astronomical conjunctions remains a puzzle. In Central America, debate lingers over the deeper workings of the Maya long count, especially regarding the famed 2012 cycle completion. Meanwhile, evidence hints that certain tribes in Africa and Australia possess star knowledge older than recorded history. These mysteries invite continued exploration, bridging archaeology, anthropology, astronomy, and spiritual inquiry. An invitation to explore. So how can one delve deeper into these ancient systems today? One path involves studying extant texts, like the Dresden Codex for the Maya, or the richly annotated star maps from China's Han Dynasty. Another involves connecting with indigenous elders and cultural keepers who maintain living knowledge of ancestral calendars. Through respectful dialogue and collaboration, it is possible to glean insights not found in textbooks. Additionally, traveling to ancient sites like Stonehenge, Chichen Itza, or the Great Zimbabwe can spark wonder. Watching the sun rise through a precisely aligned megalith or witnessing the interplay of shadows at an equinox might open an intuitive sense of ancient architects' intentions. Observing your own environment, tracking moon phases, noting equinox sunsets, can also yield personal epiphanies about the interlaced dance of earth and sky. Reweaving our connection. Ultimately, the study of ancient calendars is not a nostalgic yearning for a bygone age, but an opportunity to reweave our bond with nature's profound cycles. While modern technology speeds us along linear timelines, these ancient systems beckon us to slow down and feel the heartbeat of the cosmos. They invite us to ask, what if time is more than a resource to be spent, more than a measure of productivity? What if time is an ongoing conversation among Earth, the heavens, and human consciousness? In this view, each season, each lunar phase, each planetary dance becomes a chance to calibrate our lives to something grand and timeless. We move beyond the urgency of Monday to Friday schedules, glimpsing the deeper music in the world's turning. We discover continuity between microcosm and macrocosm, how personal stories echo universal cycles. And we remember that for millennia, our ancestors gazed up at the sky with the same wonder, weaving meaning from star paths, comet arcs, and sunlit temples. Close your eyes and picture the world as it may have been thousands of years ago. A planet quieter, less illuminated by artificial light. Its night sky ablaze with constellations. Imagine the hush of a ceremonial gathering where elders softly recount star lore and mythic tales. The rhythmic beat of a drum echoes in the darkness, symbolizing the cyclical heartbeat of time itself. Each turn of the moon, each shift of the constellations, each solstice sunrise is cause for reverence, signifying both eternal repetition and ever-evolving possibility. That sense of time, sacred, cyclical, woven into daily life, permeated the calendars of old. Far from static charts, they were living codices, clarifying how humanity fit into the cosmic puzzle. They taught that to know the seasons of the sky was also to know oneself, to align with nature, to honor the invisible forces that cradle life. This was not naive romanticism, but a finely tuned wisdom tradition, supported by careful sky watching and cultural memory. In our modern era, obsessed with speed and linear progress, these ancient calendars whisper that maybe we've overlooked something essential. Time is not simply a resource to be allocated, but an orchestration of celestial and earthly movements that shapes our existence. By revisiting the hidden meanings in ancient calendars, by pondering how Egyptian priests timed the flood, how the Maya wove multiple cycles, how the Chinese balanced yin and yang in seasonal transitions, we reacquaint ourselves with that deeper melody. And perhaps, in doing so, we remember our own capacity for wonder. After all, the same sun still rises, the moon waxes and wanes, the constellations revolve in stately patterns. Their cyclical dance invites us to join in, to recalibrate our lives with the cosmic clock, to find purpose and harmony in each turning day. The ancients might have left behind temples and carvings, but their greatest legacy is the reminder that the cosmos is not a distant machine. It's a living tapestry of which we are part, if only we choose to look up and sync our hearts with its timeless, ever-repeating song.